Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Code Blue, dedicated to all things unidentified, brought to you by Bluebook.tv, the platform of the unexplained. Please check it out. It's free. I am Thor, and thank you for listening. The topic of this episode: cattle mutilations. They date as far back as 1606 in English records of farmers filing complaints about hundreds of sheep being maimed. In the US, over 10,000 unexplained accounts of cattle and horse mutilations exist over decades, with 8,000 more in Australia, the number worldwide likely to exceed 100,000. It is both the staggering number of incidents as well as their uniformity that gives us a glimpse of the gruesome mystery they represent and an insight into who or what might be responsible. We can build a picture by eyewitness accounts, circumstantial evidence left at the scene, and on the livestock itself. The modern saga of cattle mutilations begins in 1967 on a ranch near Alamosa, Colorado, where Agnes King and her son Harry came upon their beloved horse named Lacey, killed and mutilated. Their story broke nationwide and was the first where an extraterrestrial UFO connection was made due to eyewitness accounts. As a fair warning, many gruesome imagery accompanies this story. Viewer discretion is advised. Due to concerns raised by cattle ranchers in months and years following the 1967 events, FBI became involved, resulting in 2 official federal investigations. U.S. police and military agencies have investigated the phenomena as well. But perhaps the most detailed research has been done by private investigative journalist Linda Moulton Howe, resulting in her 1980 Emmy Award-winning documentary, A Strange Harvest, and her follow-up book from 1989 titled An Alien Harvest. The common characteristics in overwhelming cases of cattle mutilations are: first, the surgical precision of the cuts and their scalpel-sharp incisions. Second, the areas where incisions are always made, without exception, are around their eyes, ears, nostrils, and mouth, as well as their genital areas, their sexual organs removed, the rectum removed, each area surgically precise, while all other parts of the animals are left intact. Third, no blood is observed on the scene, on or around the animal, as if it had not bled at all, or was removed far away for the killing. And let's remember, these animals weigh half a ton apiece. Fourth, the blood has been fully drained and removed from the animal in most instances. Fifth, exhaustively researched facts reveal that no trace of a known perpetrator is ever left behind. Not human, not canine, not any animal. There are no tracks, paths, tire marks, DNA, or other evidence suggesting an attack took place at all. Explanations offered by governmental authorities have ranged from natural decomposition, normal predation, or the work of natural predators, or various cults harvesting for sacrificial rituals, and some hinting at the possibility of secretive government experiments. When the evidence, however, is compared to the official explanations, we must logically conclude as follows. The precision requires the use of a scalpel or a laser. A wolf or any other suspect carnivore, hunter, or scavenger can't hack these precise cuts. In one instance, a cow's eye was removed with such detail and precision that the optic nerve end had been carefully cauterized at the end, as if for the preservation of the removed organ. Further, the sheer volume, as well as the global spread and distribution of identical events over decades, rules out isolated cults or organized human-animal cruelty acts. As with crop circles, the sheer scale rules out a repeat organized act of persons, no matter their motive. Natural decomposition? It is insulting to human intelligence because animals don't decompose selectively. A rural sheriff offered that the bloating of a decaying animal created tears in their hide similar to the mutilation cuts. But the selective removal of genitalia, eyes, and tongue does not pass the test of the sheriff's logic either. According to Linda Moulton Howe's record, there's evidence of the animal having been dropped from some height and then bounced up and back to the earth before the final resting place. When evidence data is followed upon properly, methodically, and scientifically, the mystery just becomes stranger. Multiple worldwide eyewitness accounts point to UFO sightings, often accompanying cattle mutilations, including sights of beams of light reaching down to Earth from a flying object hovering above. Not dissimilar to experience or accounts of abductions, describing floating off the ground up to a spacecraft within a beam of light. A peculiar video exists dating back to 1983, originating in a Japanese dairy commercial, that while a CGI simulation depicts what this might look like. Trace evidence on site supports landing as well. Circle indents have been witnessed and photographed, tripod marks have been found, and strangely, electronic negative charge of the Earth has been neutralized by an interfering force in the immediate area surrounding mutilated cattle. The absence of any marks is also evidence in and of itself, as it supports eyewitness accounts. The worldwide volume of near-identical data between 1967 and today, over 10,000 in the US alone, tells us this is being done on a massive scale and with a purpose. Stories of human mutilations do exist in the United States, South America, Brazil, and elsewhere. Most gruesome one involves an American Air Force sergeant, detailed in the mysteriously missing Project Grudge Report number 13. While Report 1 through 12 and then 14 have all been declassified, Report 13, which was 600 pages in length and detailed a Lovett-Cunningham incident of 1956 involving Air Force Sergeant Jonathan Lovett, that one is missing. It took place near Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. While searching for scattered debris from a rocket test, Cunningham heard a loud scream coming from Lovett. When he approached the sergeant, he became an eyewitness to perhaps the strangest human extraterrestrial encounter ever recorded. According to William English, a former Green Beret captain who has testified to reading Report 13, Cunningham saw a serpent-like creature dragging Lovett towards a craft hovering above ground about 20 feet away, and lifting him on board in a beam of light before disappearing upwards into the sky. Cunningham radioed for help and was hospitalized with a mental shock. Military records confirm the time and place of Cunningham's radio SOS communication. 3 days later, 10 miles from the site of the abduction, the surgically mutilated body, consistent with cattle mutilations, the remains of Sergeant Lovett were discovered, exposed for about 24 to 48 hours. As to how? In 1976, a laboratory at Los Alamos investigating multiple cattle mutilations concluded that a burst of radiation was the most likely cause of their death. A burst of radiation. Scientific analysis has revealed most mutilated animals are in the prime of their lives, with usually high levels of vitamin and minerals present in their tissue, suggesting the individuals may have been chosen for their outstanding health. Other research anomalies in support of this hypothesis include absence of copper in the specimen's liver, pointing to absence of toxicity and chemical balance, accompanied by abnormal high levels of zinc, potassium, and phosphorus, collectively beneficial to nerve, muscle, bone, and immunity health. Ranchers have corroborated these findings by stating over and again their cattle, lost to mutilations, were healthy and exemplary specimens that showed no signs of illness prior. The hypothesized purpose of these airborne assaults on livestock suggests, by the evidence, the harvesting of their DNA and protein composition richly found in healthy animals of prime age, in their genitalia and blood, with parallel caution for possible infection and unwanted bacteria commonly found in the mouth, tongue, eyes, ears, nostrils, and rectal areas. The evidence points to a biological program of harvesting and/or monitoring, reproduction, cloning, or otherwise, perhaps for the care and feeding of human-alien hybrids on board large crafts reported by multiple abductees. Naming the true purpose right now can only be speculative. You can watch or listen to this and other podcasts of the Code Blue series on Project Bluebook and Bluebook.tv. Please check it out. It's free. This has been Code Blue for all things unexplained and unidentified. Please subscribe, and each day, let's show some compassion and kindness. I am Thor, and thanks for listening. See you next time.